working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us here on 17 News at noon. I'm Vanessa Dillon. We begin with the topic on everyone's mind right now is the weather. And right now we have 17's Kevin Charette standing by to tell us a little bit about what we can expect now. Kevin, we've been seeing those showers all this morning. How long is it going to really last?
Well, we were showing you a live picture and we go back to that live picture and it is a gloomy start to the afternoon. Lots of clouds and yes, we still have the rain out there. We're also seeing some mountain snow. Want to show you the satellite and radar right now, and you can see the rotation of this, and that is two mechanisms causing this. One area of low pressure off the central coast, and then we have another area of low pressure to the east of us. They're kind of combining, and that's why we're seeing the rotation the way it is. And you can see some of these heavier showers moving through the Bakersfield area right now. We have some snow falling in the higher elevations up in the Kern River Valley, and we've already seen some snow out of Pine Mountain Club and Fraser Park. They're kind of in the dry slot as we speak. Now, here's a look at the latest rain totals. 0.17 of an inch out at Meadows Field. Here at KGET, just under 0.3 of an inch. You can see some higher amounts up near Delano. We thought actually the northern part of the valley would see less, but with the rotation, they've been able to pick up a good amount of rain. And then over the Fraser Park area, they have picked up some snow there, about a trace, and about almost 0.2 of an inch of rain. And then into the Tehachapi area, about a quarter. So all areas pretty much have seen the rain except Edwards Air Force Base. They have not picked up any rain so far. Here is the picture out of Pine Mountain Club. It is a winter wonderland. They're at about 5,500 feet, and this is their first snow of the fall-winter season. They're currently at 32 degrees. And then Fraser Park, still some snow on the ground on the rooftops. Earlier, they had a pretty good amount out there. It was winter wonderland for them. They're at about 4,600 feet right there, and cloudy now and 34 degrees. Bakersfield, a chilly 48 right now, an east-southeast wind at 10 miles per hour. And as we go throughout today, we should be able to start to warm things up a little bit, and we'll be in the 50s. I still have a chance of showers in there pretty much all day long before things taper off by tonight. 39 degrees in Tehachapi. We've got a northwest wind at 16. Not looking at any snow in the downtown Tehachapi area, but some of the higher elevations. And we're looking at the 40s this afternoon. Those showers will continue, and by 9 p.m., upper 30s. There are some locations up near Tehachapi that have seen a little bit of the white stuff. We'll talk more about that coming up in a few minutes. Vanessa?
All right, Kevin, thanks so much. And speaking of this storm, the first sight of snow has made its way into Kern County. Light snow is falling in the Fraser Park area, landing on Interstate 5 between Fraser Park and Gorman. The California Highway Patrol says snow isn't sticking to the roadway, but you are encouraged to drive with caution in and around the area. Here are some photos you've shared with us. Continue to send us your photos at 17news at KGET.com to see them at 17 News at 5. Well, Bakersfield police say the locally acclaimed candy shop Dewar's has been burglarized. BPD says it happened just after midnight Monday at the 1120 I Street location. According to police, a man broke into the shop and stole several items. Captured on surveillance video, the suspect is described as 5'10", 175 pounds, and has a mustache. He was seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and white shorts under light blue jeans. Anyone with information is asked to call BPD at 327-7111. Here in Kern County, more than 6,000 people were impacted by another power outage this morning, but not because of a public safety power shutoff, rather just an unplanned outage due to the weather. Now, power has been restored to all local homes and businesses. Both of this morning's local outages impacted over 4,000 homes and businesses. And the other nearly 2,000 happened around 8:15 a.m. In Northern California, dry conditions and high winds are creating another increased fire risk, and power has been cut to nearly 50,000 homes and businesses because of a public safety power shutoff up there. PG&E says it plans to inspect the de-energized lines once the high winds die down on Thursday. They hope to restore power to most customers by Thursday evening. And the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection has increased staffing and pre-positioned firefighting resources. In October, PG&E cut off power to almost 800,000 customers in Northern California to lower the risk of wildfires. PG&E Chief Executive Bill Johnson said last month that these planned outages could continue for a decade. We're following a deadly accident in northwest Bakersfield that happened overnight. An elderly man walking outside the crosswalk was hit by a car. He died at the scene. It happened at Coffee Road and Granite Falls Drive around 6:45 yesterday evening. Bakersfield police say the man was in his 80s, and BPD says the driver is cooperating with investigators. They don't suspect drugs or alcohol were factors in that crash. Officers are patrolling the streets looking for drunk drivers every day, not just on the weekends and holidays. And last night, Bakersfield police set up a DUI checkpoint. It was on Ming Avenue, just west of Gosford Road, from 5 p.m. until midnight last night. Officers checked the sobriety of more than 1,000 drivers. No one was arrested. But remember, if you suspect a driver is under the influence and behind the wheel, call 911. A candlelight vigil was held last night for Kern County Sheriff's Commander Ian Chandler, whose sudden passing has left a big hole in the department and the community in which he served. Family, friends, and fellow law enforcement officers gathered outside the Sheriff's Department headquarters on Norris Road. Commander Chandler died Sunday, one day before his 49th birthday. He was with the department for more than 20 years and in that time made a lasting impression on everyone around him. But beyond the badge, friends say Chandler was someone who loved his family and friends. Commander Ian Chandler is survived by his wife Melanie and 3 children. The cause of his death has not been disclosed. No word yet on funeral arrangements. Well, every year the Bakersfield Homeless Center serves a hot Thanksgiving meal to those in need, but this year they're short on turkeys and hams. For nearly 2 decades, volunteers and staff have been preparing a Thanksgiving feast for the homeless. They usually serve about 500 people, but this year they expect even more. The Thanksgiving feast is this Sunday, but the Homeless Center still needs dozens of turkeys and hams to make it happen. They're hoping to get the items by today, so if you'd like to help, you can always drop off a turkey or ham today at the Homeless Center on East Truxtun Avenue, or you can make a donation online at bakhc.org. Well, coming up on 17 News at noon, it's the 4th day of the public impeachment hearings. Details on the 3 witnesses who testified just ahead. Plus, what a new survey is revealing about leading a new healthy life and how money may be getting in the way. Your 17 Health Watch is right after this. Welcome back. Now, day 4 of public impeachment hearings are underway with 3 more witnesses called to testify. First up, the most important one to appear thus far is U.S. Ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland. NBC's Susan McGinnis tells us why Sondland's testimony is pivotal and what to expect from the day's proceedings.
In explosive testimony by the most consequential witness thus far in the impeachment inquiry, Gordon Sondland, U.S. Ambassador to the European Union, directly ties President Trump and his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, to a quid pro quo with Ukraine.
Mr. Giuliani's requests were a quid pro quo for arranging a White House visit for President Zelensky.
Sondland testifying that Giuliani pushed Ukraine to announce investigations of Joe Biden and the Democrats and a false theory Ukraine interfered in the 2016 election.
Mr. Giuliani was expressing the desires of the President of the United States, and we knew these investigations were important to the President.
Sondland testifies he informed Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Vice President Pence, and other top officials, but no one took action.
Everyone was in the loop. It was no secret.
Sondland first told investigators there was no quid pro quo, and President Trump personally told him there wasn't one. President Trump repeating those words today.
I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. Tell Zelensky to do the right thing.
Republicans today trying to isolate the president from Giuliani's efforts in Ukraine.
Did the president ever tell you personally about any preconditions for anything?
No.
Still, Democrats looking beyond the president's words to his actions in Ukraine, with Ambassador Sondland providing what may be the most direct and most damaging evidence in this impeachment inquiry.
House Republicans are again calling for Joe Biden's son Hunter as well as the whistleblower to testify. Democrats say that won't happen. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, NBC News.
And now we're talking about everything. The topic that everyone is talking about is, of course, the weather, and it is looking really gloomy out there right now. Kev, how long can we expect it to look like that?
Well, at least until tonight before we see improvements, but I think people are enjoying this wet weather. We haven't seen it since September 5th when we picked up 200ths of an inch, and we picked up a lot more this time around. I want to show you some pictures and take a look at this. We've got the trio of umbrellas, and this is the Green family, and they were ready to head out into the rain this morning, so enjoying some fall weather. And then Bear Valley Springs, yes, it didn't last long, according to Patsy Saddler, at about 4,500 feet, but she said, look at that, some snow did start to fall around the area. And then also, Alta Sierra is reporting they've got snow on the ground, but not enough to open. But they say it's a welcoming sight to fall and soon heading into winter. Right now, we've got 48 in Bakersfield, 50s, though, for Delano, Wasco, and Buttonwillow. Into the mountains, 30s and 40s right now. Tehachapi at 39, 45 out of Lake Isabella. And you can see here the rotation of this moisture still making its way into our area. Some heavier of the rain moving through the downtown Bakersfield area, and then still some higher elevation snow falling into the Kern River Valley. This rotation of moisture is going to continue throughout the afternoon into the evening before things start to kind of pull back. We've got showers still out in the Arvin area, 50 degrees there. Wasco, a beautiful sky and a few showers in 52. And then Golden Hills, we've got cloudy skies right now around the area. And here's a look at the big picture, and you can see the rotation a little bit better. This low was up here earlier this morning, now moving south and eventually to the east, and it's also combining with an area of low pressure to the east of us. So with that wraparound moisture will continue, and the reason why we're seeing some of these isolated thunderstorms is because of the colder pool of air with the system off to the west. So system 1 and 2 coming together this afternoon, and then once they kind of push off to the east, we'll start that drying out period. Now, the winter storm warning is still in place above 6,000 feet. And again, the Fraser Park, Pine Mountain Club area did pick up a little bit of snow this morning. This is kind of what we're seeing now. We put this into motion as we progress here throughout the afternoon by 5 p.m. Still some lingering rain and snow showers into the mountains. And then this pushes off to the east and we start to dry things out as we head into late tonight into early tomorrow morning. So here's a look at our futurecast. How much rain could we see from this point on? And we could still pick up an additional 1/10 of an inch into Bakersfield, 700ths of an inch in Delano, about 1,300ths of an inch in the Tehachapi area, and maybe close to 1/4 of an inch up into the Kern River Valley with 3/10 out of Ridgecrest. So today the showers will continue. We hope to make our way into the 50s, but right now we're about 10 degrees off where we are expecting to be this afternoon. 57 in Buttonwillow, 56 in Taft, and then 4 of the mountains in the Kern River Valley. Look for those rain and snow showers to continue. 45 in Fraser Park, 46 in Tehachapi, 50s into the Kern River Valley. Again, not expecting any snow in the downtown Tehachapi area, up in the higher elevations maybe, and then the real focus of this is near Pine Mountain Club and Fraser Park if we see more of that snowfall throughout the afternoon and the higher elevations of the Kern River Valley. For the desert, the showers will continue, 54 today in Mojave, and then tomorrow we'll see clearing skies. We're back into the 60s and dry through next Tuesday. And then for the mountains, a lingering shot of a shower early tomorrow, but then drying things out as well, rebounding back into the 50s. And the Kern River Valley forecast also will dry out by tomorrow. I think the clouds will hang around a little longer in the Kern River Valley, but then another storm could impact our weather by next Wednesday. We'll see if that materializes. And Alyssa will have more tonight.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Kev. Yep. Well, still ahead on 17 News at noon, Boeing is ordering immediate changes to one of its most popular planes and engines following a deadly accident last year. The details coming up. Plus, how finances and differences in income may be impacting your marriage. Your 17 Business Watch is after the break. Welcome back in your 17 Health Watch. Husbands are fine with their wives contributing financially to the household, but only to a certain point. A new 15-year study involved over 6,000 American couples. The British researchers found husbands experienced the most stress if they were the sole breadwinners. Their stress levels declined when their wives earned up to 40% of the household income. But if the earnings increased beyond that point, then so did the husband's anxiety. Well, a new survey is shedding light on what may be keeping families from living a healthy life. Researchers surveyed over 1,000 parents, and 65% said at least one socioeconomic factor negatively impacted their family's health. Nearly a third said they weren't able to pay at least one of their bills or had skipped medical appointments because they couldn't afford it. 30% said they don't have time to worry about their kids' health unless it was an emergency.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Back now on your 17 Business Health Watch, we are talking about our next story. Now, Boeing is ordering immediate changes to one of its most popular planes and engines nearly 18 months after a Southwest Airlines passenger was killed after being partially sucked out of a window when an engine broke apart mid-flight. And while this was a horrific accident, it is unrelated to the 737 MAX crashes. NBC's Tom Costello reports.
April 17th, 2018. Southwest 1380 was at 32,000 feet and in serious trouble.
Everybody breathe, everybody breathe, we're almost landing.
Passengers donned oxygen masks as pilots declared an emergency. The left engine had come apart, showering the plane with shrapnel and shattering a passenger window, causing an immediate decompression and pulling one of the passengers from her seat through the window.
They said there was a hole and someone went out.
They tried to bring her, reel her back in, and it just was crazy.
On board, an EMT and nurse performed CPR for 20 minutes.
It just wasn't going to be enough.
43-year-old Jennifer Reardon didn't survive, leaving behind 2 children and her husband, Michael. He talked to NBC's Joe Fryer.
What should we know about Jennifer?
She was just such an open and honest being, and luckily for all of us, she expressed that. So she was genuine and pure to her core.
Investigators quickly determined a fan blade inside the left engine had broken apart in flight, tearing off a piece of the engine cowling or casing that shattered the window. It was the second fan blade to break off a Southwest 737 in less than a year. The NTSB now says that a metal fatigue crack on Flight 1380 had gone undetected for years.
This particular blade had a crack present. It went through 7 inspections prior, and nobody caught it.
Southwest has since inspected all of its similar fan blades and found 16 additional cracks. It's also ordered much more frequent inspections. Now the NTSB is calling on Boeing and engine maker CFM to make design changes to the engine and the plane to prevent similar tragedies in the future.
From tragedy, we draw knowledge to improve the safety for us all.
Boeing says it's already working on a design enhancement that would fully address the safety recommendation from the NTSB.
In your 17 entertainment news now, actor Jussie Smollett is suing the city of Chicago and the city's police department. Smollett's attorney filed a countersuit saying criminal charges against the actor were brought forth in bad faith. In January, Smollett said 2 men attacked him and called him racial slurs. Chicago police investigated the case for weeks. They later said they believed Smollett staged the attack to boost his acting career. He was charged with 16 felony counts, but a prosecutor dropped the charges, saying Smollett forfeited his bail money and completed community service. The city of Chicago sued the actor to recover the $130,000 spent investigating the incident. Julia Roberts as famous abolitionist Harriet Tubman. That potential casting has the internet buzzing. Screenwriter Gregory Allen Howard talked about the long road to getting the movie Harriet made during a recent interview with Focus Features. Howard says about 20 years ago, an unnamed executive at Disney suggested Roberts be cast in the role of the African-American woman. Cynthia Erivo ended up getting the part in the recently released film. There's no word whether anyone actually approached Julia Roberts about the role of Harriet Tubman, but many on social media reacted to the revelation, upset with a white actress who would be considered to portray the former slave and leader of the Underground Railroad. We'll still ahead on 17 News at noon. In the season of Thanksgiving, Pastor Mike Aceves with Victory Outreach tells us how you can give back this holiday season. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now joining us now is Pastor Mike Aceves with Victory Outreach. He's here to tell us a little bit more about a special turkey giveaway happening tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Vanessa. How you doing?
Great. Thank you. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about the turkey giveaway.
Well, we're excited to do this turkey giveaway. It's our 13th year, and today is the day to be able to go out and, if you're in need of a turkey or a dinner, there in our church, we're able to give out 300 turkeys. We're going to be giving out first come, first serve.
Awesome. And so what time can people come out and go ahead and pick up a turkey?
Well, registration starts at 6, and the turkey giveaway will start at 7:30. And as soon as they do registration, they will get a number, and then they'll be waiting, and then we'll start it at 7:30.
And, in the season of Thanksgiving, why is it so important for your church to essentially come together and give back to the community?
It's beautiful. God's love is good, and my daughter asked me a question one time when we were having our turkey dinner. She said, Dad, what happens to the families that are not eating? And I said, you know what? They're not eating. They're not having a meal today. And that sparked up 13 years ago for us to start something. And we've been able to feed a portion, a little bit, into the sense of giving back to help out other families that are in need at this time of the holidays.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And, for people who might even want to lend a helping hand, is there any opportunity for volunteering as well?
There is. We would really appreciate for anybody that would want to come on board and to help out. There's some businesses that have helped out, Mendoza Trucking, Walmart, and some of them have come on board with us to be able to help out. But if you would like to, we would love to see you there or to give us a call.
Awesome. And then again, those last minute tips, where exactly will this be and what time?
It's going to be at 4704 New Horizon Boulevard at 6 o'clock.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Pastor Aceves, for joining us this afternoon. And thanks so much, everyone. We'll be right back with more news.
Welcome back. A Pittsburgh penguin celebrates a big milestone.
Yep, that's right. It's Mickey, the macaroni penguin, and as you can hear, she's pretty excited.
Well, yeah, look at that food.
Oh, no sound, but when you hear the original video, she's like making all these little weird noises. It was my favorite part about the video. Well, the Pittsburgh Zoo is celebrating her 35th birthday, making her one of the oldest of her kind in the nation. And Mickey shares her special day and name with the famous Mouse House. Mickey's cake is made out of ice and fish, and the frosting is scallops blended with food coloring. And zoo workers say Mickey is very sweet and is a grandmother figure to the other penguins. She even babysits for young chicks when their parents need a break. And like many elderly creatures, zoo workers say Mickey moves a bit more slow and has cataracts. Otherwise, she's aging pretty gracefully, and she looks great.
I'd make that kind of sound, too, if you had a big cake like that in front of me. All right, the big news of the day, the rain. We've got rain still falling outside. That will continue until probably later on this evening. Also, some mountain snow, still a possibility near Frazier Park in Pine Mountain Club. So if you're hitting the roadways, stay safe.
Loving this weather, though, everyone. That's all for us at 17 News at noon. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 17 News at 5.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app. In the spirit of the Golden Empire, 17 News.